How a hit song always finds a home. I'm John Bowden from Rocky Street Music. Shannon Rubicam and George Merrill of Boy Meets Girl are our special guests. They're known for their hits Ooh Girl and Waiting for a Star to Fall, which the latter was a number 5 hit. And they wrote 2 number 1s for Whitney Houston, How Will I Know and I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me. They worked with Denise Williams. George has worked with Graham Nash. You know, when we were kids and we have a crush on somebody on the playground, and it didn't work out, and it was a huge rejection. I wish my parents would have told me, it's apples and oranges. It's not going to fit. You guys don't fit together. It's okay. Well, the same happens with a hit song. There's a songwriter sometimes, and then an artist that records it. Sometimes it's the same person, of course. When Janet Jackson started her singing career, she was very popish, and George Merrill and Shannon Rubicam were asked to write a song for her. So they wrote a song called How Will I Know? But around the same time, Janet Jackson was really changing her sound with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis producing. But in the end, it did find a great home with Whitney Houston. Shannon Rubicam, George Merrill of Boy Meets Girl, Rocky Street Music.
Shannon she said, make sure you ask about How Will I Know? Tell us about the process of that song.
Okay, so that was, we were called by our publishing company, and they said that Janet Jackson was looking for a song for her new album. Oh. And I think it was her second album then, because her first one was kind of this light, breathy, airy sound. And little, very Michael Jackson in a way, his higher register singing. So we thought, okay, well, we'll write a very light pop song for her. So we wrote.
Well, actually, you can hear in the movie, you can actually hear Shannon singing How Will I Know, the demo, in that light, airy demo that we created. It's in the movie, and Shannon's singing, and if you're watching with the subtitles, it actually says Shannon Rubicam, How Will I Know?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. We just happened to have it on. Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it went by quickly. It was there.
Oh no, she made the movie. It was very exciting.
So that song, it ended up being turned down by Janet and her crew because she was working with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis at the time for her Control album, which of course was an about face for her and a completely different presentation. And How Will I Know would definitely not have been the right choice. So they turned it down, and then is it Jerry Griffiths or Jerry Griffith?
I think it's just I think it's not plural.
Okay, so the one and only Jerry Griffith came to Elmo Irving looking for songs for this new singer, Whitney Houston. And he liked that song. They played it for him, and he walked off with that. He might have walked off with a few other songs. And then we got a call from, I think it was Clive, saying, we really like this song. And he had a suggestion for a producer, but it went through a number of producers. I think it was a matter of people's time and, syncing up with when they hoped to record Whitney. So it ended up with Narada Michael Walden. And he added some additional music, and we wrote additional lyrics to that. And then he made this huge song out of it, with this incredible bass. Just everything about it is explosive. So when we first heard it, we freaked out.
Yeah, that must be interesting hearing someone taking you invent this thing, you invent it, and someone takes that invention through their whatever past and everything they've got. There's a producer, there's musicians, there's the singer.
This is a metamorphosis. Oftentimes, if somebody will take your demo and many times they'll kind of copy it because I remember Paul Young did that with one of our first placements with the song Bring Me Home. And he had listened to our demo and kind of, just kind of used many of the aspects of the demo. But with How Will I Know, like Shannon just explained, it's like it went from this, little light, airy song, breezy sort of approach, and Nard had just figured out this way to just have it come out of the blocks. I mean, to me, it's such a great radio intro too. I just love that little
Yeah.
signature keyboard part, and then that bass. It's like the
Yes,
whole
right.
thing. The whole thing begs for radio. 6:30 in the morning. It's KHJ with the sound of Whitney Houston. I
Right.
mean, you can do it a lot better than I can.
In high school, were either of you known for music? Were you, with the people around you, did they go, oh, Shannon, I know you met later, but were you known as the music people?
I was not. My mom had bought me a guitar. I think it was a classical guitar on my 16th birthday, and I think it was because she really wanted a guitar. So then there was one in the house, but she must have identified that I really loved music, and so I think I right away started writing with it and just thinking about making my own songs. George has a different story.
Well, you were when I first met you, your finger picking on the guitar. You were quite dexterous too. You were actually a really talented folk singer songwriter. It kind of, I mean, that would be like you were pretty well developed at that point. That way, I think. High school for me was kind of the blooming of my music career. Actually, it went farther back because it's how long do we have here? um, uh, I think I was 10 years old when I realized that music was going to be the main thing I was the most curious about in my life. And so from that point on, it was simple. It was just a matter of figuring out how I was going to live and make music. We played clubs. We played. I was in a number of bands throughout high school, and we had a really great swing choir in high school, and I was part of the combo. And all the things that I learned about playing music with other people, listening, figuring out how to, when I took a solo, I wasn't just, just playing over everybody else, all that sort of thing that you learn. It was really invaluable. And, in a number of different bands, and eventually Shannon and I met each other. We were both playing in Seattle. Different bands. She came out to see me on my incarnation and ended up joining us. And we were a local kind of folk pop incarnation up in Seattle. Yeah. And we got a chance to play our songs that we were writing, but we'd throw in like, dance with me, I want to be your partner.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've interviewed John a few times. I've interviewed John from Orleans a few times.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that was a great song. And, and Dan Fogelberg, we used to, because he had all those beautiful harmonies. So Crosby, Stills, Nash, anybody who had loads of harmonies, we would just dissect them, get them perfect, and do those in the clubs, and
Yeah.
so that was our deal.
And we got a chance to throw in some of our own songs in the mix, and so we were trying out songs, and we realized the ones that nobody reacted to. There was something about them that. So I'm a pleaser, so that was really bothering me. So what could I do to write a song that people might like a little bit better?
3 songs you wish you would have written.
Well,
okay.
Boys of Summer by Don Henley. I wish it said Boys of Summer by Don Henley and Shannon Rubicam.
Yeah. Is it called? Candle in the Wind. Elton John, Bernie Taupin.
Third one, I just heard this recently, and it really just blew my mind with its simplicity again, though. Bernie Taupin's lyrics and Elton John. It's just a guitar. I think it's called Love Song.
Oh, it's
Do
called
you
Love
know
Song.
what I mean?
And it's
Can
Elton,
old
your
one.
eyes
and he's
really
not playing
see?
piano.
No.
It's just Caleb Quaye playing guitar.
Yeah, it was
You ever
perfect
meet
song.
Caleb? You ever meet him?
Mm-mm.
No, but I've always, I mean, those early albums were formative to me, and I just, the way that those albums were arranged musically, affected me greatly. I'd love to meet him. Is he still on the planet? Where is he?
He's still around. He's just released a documentary. It's on YouTube. It's free, called Louder Than Rock.
We'll have more from Shannon Rubicam and George Merrill of Boy Meets Girl coming up in a few days. Keep coming back to the channel for more from Shannon Rubicam and George Merrill of Boy Meets Girl. And when the whole interview is available, we'll put the link at the very top of every video that features them, so it'll be easier for you to find. And there'll also be links to the podcast when it's ready. Remember, if you want to make a donation to the channel and help us grow, there's a PayPal link at the very top of the description. Also, join our Patreon. You'll get early access to all our videos. Subscribe to our channel. We've got great swag. If you want to buy a t-shirt or a coat or a hat, it's all at the very top of the description, the link. But subscribe to the channel, like our videos, comment on them, and share them on social media. We'd appreciate that. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music.